it's Amy. Welcome to Doki Doki Forest. I'm so glad you are here. Now today it's time for some glue book fun in my castle journal. This castle journal was a magazine and now it's been cut and transformed into this castle mixed media glue book sort of journal, and I cut every single page different so it looks like sort of different castle tops. And yeah, so it's been really fun to work in here, and it'll be interesting when it's all done and you see all these different tops together. And this whole shaped magazine idea was inspired by Janet Nash. She makes all kinds of shaped magazines turned journals. Super cool. She was just making an animal shaped magazine, which she turned into a journal. So it was a kitty cat, and she made a couple of other ones too. Head on over if you haven't seen them yet, or I'll link them down below actually and make that easier for you, because yeah, you have to see what she's done, because that idea makes me want to make another shaped magazine journal that's an animal shape. But today it's castle time, so let's get to our page and get gluing. Okay, so for our first page we are going to head down into the basement of the castle. Down here is where there is a large wine cellar. Just rows and rows of all kinds of wines from all different lands, collected here for ages. And in charge of all of these wines is this fine wine connoisseur named Jarvis. Now he is happy to fetch you whatever you would like, if it's in stock. Now, enter the lady of the house. She goes and asks Jarvis for a fine glass of wine, one that she has been saving for years and years. Jarvis begins to sweat. He doesn't want to tell her that there isn't any more of that wine left. "Well, bring me the next finest, then," she demands. "Well, I'm sorry," he starts to say, "but we don't have that either." She begins to become visibly enraged, for she was never patient to begin with. And then, eventually, after asking for wine after wine and being told that there is just nothing there, she demands to know what happened to it all. Where did it all go? There's no way all of the wine can be gone. Jarvis nervously responds, "Well, you see, after husband number 1 and husband number 2 and husband number 3, well, you see, they just really enjoyed visiting the wine cellar, and I'm afraid there's nothing left." This, as you can imagine, does not go over well. Now, is Jarvis a reliable narrator, though? Maybe he drank it all, and he just doesn't want to admit it. Well, you can decide for yourself what's going on here, but either way, she doesn't have her wine, and she is mad. I had so much fun creating this page. I was going through a wine magazine, and I found so many images that I really liked, and as I was collecting them, this story just started appearing in my head, so I wanted to get this glued down as soon as I could before I either forgot the plan that I had in my head, or I just lost the pictures or put them away never to be seen again. So this was a lot of fun, though. I love her expression. She does look really mad, and I love how the guys are all just, pouring themselves, helping themselves to the drinks. They seem like they're enjoying having a little something something. So I just thought it'd be funny if there was this story, that she's been married at least 3 times that we know of, and each time the husbands just loved going down there and having a drink, and pretty soon she had nothing left. So covering up the tops of these pages is always a little bit challenging just because of the shape, but that's where scraps can really come in handy. So these are all just little pieces that I had trimmed off of the images, and now I'm just kind of putting them back on there, not in the same order, but see, I have some more bottles back there, so it works out perfect. And of course, if you don't want to do that, you could always just paint the tops, and that's a really great way to deal with unusual shapes, If you don't feel like cutting the shapes, you don't have to. But look, I noticed that when I glued her on, I sort of covered up that the middle guy was pouring the drink, and then the bottom guy, this like Johnny Depp look-alike sort of guy, was also getting covered up. So now I tried to lift her image up and move the pictures, but of course it was all glued down at that point. So I trimmed it and added some black paint to try to blur everything together. And I may add some more black paint because it's not quite blended, but at least you can see the dudes now, which is what I wanted. Okay, so now that we've had a little walk with Sophia, we can get back to gluing. And for this page, we have a party. So we have to have some flowers, and we have to have some food, of course, and then we should probably have some guests, too. So first of all, I just want to glue down some big old background images, and then I can trim those and see what I wind up with. And I loved both sides of this cake image. I was like, which side should I use? I'll figure that out later. Or right now. And I wanted that like cake cutter. I thought that was cool looking, so I put that on. But it's funny because as I'm watching this back, I kind of liked the other side better. So that happens sometimes. When you're in the moment, you glue it one way, but then if you watch it back, you can have a different experience. Now I had this image of a man who had collected some lobsters, and I decided to put a cat head on there instead. So this cat has just shown up to the party and is so pleased. And the cat's announcing, "I brought you some lobster." And then you can hear an audible gasp as the hostess says incredulously, "Are you kidding me? We're not having lobster now. We're on dessert." "All right, let me grab the car, go over to Dunkin's and grab you some donuts and crullers," the cat says. To which the dog just holds their head in their hands and sighs. She's just like, this cat doesn't get it. And the cat's just like, "Yeah, what's the problem?" So, classic miscommunication. I had a lot of fun with this page. I loved taking the bodies from some people and adding some animal heads. It was really fun. I've been collecting some animal heads that are like pretty large size and thinking, it would be really fun to do like a whole book with all these different animal kind of characters. So this is my start, I guess. Then I had one more image I almost forgot to use that was on the desk. So I glued that in and the page is done. So there we go, 2 quick castle pages today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you have an awesome day.